LTA, what's up, what's up? This your boy Doe. Today, I want to shed some light on a recent Monique interview. Monique is a comedian, one of my favorite female comedians. One of my favorite comedians, period. Not even to put her in a genre. She's dope. She's been around forever. She did all types of stuff. The Queens of Comedy, her own show, the Monique Show, own talk show. She had the I don't know if they called it the Monique Show at night or whatever, but her own talk show. She did a lot of things. Movies. Precious is one of the best movies ever. Sad movie, but one of the best movies. You know, she had a thing with Netflix where they was trying to lowball her, and then she had some run-ins with Oprah and Tyler Perry in the mix of all that. It's years old now, but she's still going through the lawsuit. And she just did an interview, and the reason why I'm really shedding light on it is because even though women are getting more empowered by the day, you know, every day, every whatever, couple weeks or whatever, women are getting more and more empowered. They're starting to make more money in the work spot, which they should, you know. And at the end of the day, don't get it wrong. There needs to be checks and balances as far as everybody complimenting each other. You know what I mean? Women, just because you're independent don't mean that you don't need a man. Not saying you need a man, but you know what I mean. Like, a man compliments the woman compliments the man. I mean, if you mess with the same sex, that's fine too. I'm just saying genetically and stuff of that nature, the way, So anyway, but I wanted to shed a light on this only because she's still going through it, and people are still going through it. No matter if you're a woman or not, people are not getting treated right in a lot of instances. So I just wanted to shed light on it, and like I said, she's one of my favorite, regardless of genre, you dig? So let's check out an interview that she just did a couple days ago, I believe. Yeah, this is a nice one.
We're going through this whole big old thing with Netflix. What's been going on with that since?
Well, we're actually still in the midst of the lawsuit. We're still in it. And, I think that when I first had to say, I've got to speak up and speak out, and I've got to say boycott this because it's blatantly unfair. It's blatant. It's so in our face that we oftentimes get so fearful that we just say, okay, I'll just let this one ride. Because if you notice, when I did come out and say something, our sister Wanda Sykes said, you know what, Monique, I stand with you because they offered me less than half of what they offered you.
Wow.
So when we get that, and then she got a special on Netflix because she said they moved the comma. Beautiful. What happens is we're all in a position to always be so afraid that we just let it ride and we go somewhere else. So when I had to take that stand against Netflix and say, we can't tolerate this anymore, y'all. We can't do this anymore. Here you have our white sister, Amy Schumer, saying, I'm not a legend, and I should not get what the legends get, because Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle had gotten the deals they got. And let me be clear, they deserve them. But when you're having a conversation with Netflix, and they say, we believe Monique is a legend too. Well, why is my legend different from Chris Rock's legend, from Dave Chappelle's legend? And when that white woman says, I'm no legend, so I shouldn't get what they're getting, but I should get more. And they negotiate, and she gets $2 million more, which gives her $13 million for that special. But then you offer me $500,000. Once you say to my team, we believe Monique is a legend. Well, why is my legend so different than anybody else's legend? So I had to stand up and speak out unapologetically and fearlessly. I had to take that position and that stand, so for the little girl coming behind me, she won't have to go through the same fight. And I said humbly, when you have the resume that I have, and again I say that humbly, once you've put in the work, but then you get treated like you should just be thankful we're welcoming you to the party.
Right.
So I'm still in the midst of that loss.
And so you still fighting it?
Yes.
After that came out, then you were on this whole situation with Oprah and Tyler.
Everyone's mad at me.
happened, Monique? What happened?
I did a movie called Precious.
I loved it.
I signed up for that movie with my friend named Lee Daniels.
Like I said, Precious.
He said it's paying $50,000. I said, let's do it. Because it was an independent film, okay? When we did the contract, he said, you have 5% of the film. We're not looking for nothing. We know this is a small independent film. The film goes to Sundance, and it begins to get all of this praise. Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey get involved with Precious.
Okay.
They become executive producers. That's wonderful, because you know when they put their name to it, here you go, it's getting ready to go through the roof. So when it came time for the campaigning of this award for the Oscar, and when it came time to go to different festivals and promote this movie, but you're really campaigning for the awards. Well, I was in a position, I had the Monique show, I was doing the Queens of Comedy tour, I had little babies, and my third husband. So what I was not going to do was make Hollywood the priority. I've already done the movie. I don't need to campaign for you now to say, I want this trophy. I've done the movie. I've done my part. I get a call from Oprah Winfrey.
What do you want from me?
Oprah Winfrey says, I will send my private jet to come get you and bring you to, I want to say, it was one of the festivals. And I said, sis, I'm in the bed with my man and my babies, eating chips, watching Curious George. Tell him I said I appreciate it and I love him, but I'm not going to be able to make that one. About 10 minutes later, I get a call back from Lee Daniels. Lee Daniels said, I told you ain't care about this. I told her you ain't care nothing about this. And it's not that I don't care nothing about it. It's just that my priorities wasn't that. I've already done my part, okay? The Hoodie Awards come up.
What do you want
With
from me?
Steve Harvey. Tyler Perry is there. Tyler Perry calls me into his room. He has a staff of people there. He does like this, and everybody disperses.
Oh, wait a minute. Do it again, Monique. Oh.
And everybody disperses, except for my security. I said, you don't work for Tyler Perry. So everything I'm saying, there's always been someone else there to hear what's happened. So we're sitting there and Tyler says to me, listen, you may want to campaign for this, because if you get nominated, your next film will be $3 to $5 million. If you win it, your next film is $5 to $8 million. I said, Tyler, look at me. I'm a black woman. Where they do that at? Those aren't the salaries that we're going to get. He said, oh, no. If you just campaign, I'm telling you right now. I said, Tyler, I cannot do a song and dance. I have no contract with Lionsgate. I have no contract with you, with Oprah. The only person I had a contract with was Lee Daniels.
Right.
And I fulfilled my contract. Now, if anybody else wants me to do anything else, there's a price to that, because what we're not in is slavery. So what I cannot do is work for y'all for free. So Tyler Perry says, well, I think outside the box, and I'm not scared of them white boys, so, I'm just trying to tell you for your own good. Well, if you think outside the box, and you're not scared of those white boys, why are you trying to tell me to do something that I'm not contractually obligated to do? So then I said, well, listen, I don't care where the money comes from.
Pay me.
I don't care where the money comes from. He said, well, I'm not in the business of writing checks for free. I said, and I'm not in the business for working for free. So we have a mutual agreement. No problem. We got up, we hugged, everything is good. When they knew that I was not going to be the actress or be the one that say, because it's them, I got to do it. No, I don't care who it is. That's not fair for you to want me to work for free just because it's you. So now here comes the blackball.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Now here comes, she's difficult to work with. Her and her husband, they are difficult. They are these difficult people. So now nobody's going to touch Monique, because Oprah Winfrey said nothing. Though there was a conversation that she had with my husband, and she agreed with the position that was being taken. So when it hit that I was difficult, she stayed quiet and said nothing. When we find out that Tyler Perry has actually told another director named David Talbert how difficult I was to work with, And David Talbert told Tyler Perry, he said, Monique was a joy. Like, I didn't have any problem. Yeah, well, she was really difficult to work with when we worked with her. Well, Tyler Perry, you never worked with me. We never worked together. When we did Precious, you came on after we said cut, that's a wrap and it's over. So now we sit in that. And that's been a decade.
Yeah.
That's been a decade. And Tyler Perry called my husband and I.
Yes.
And we recorded that conversation. And Tyler Perry in that conversation says, what I did to you was wrong.
And ladies and gentlemen, I did hear that conversation. I was privy to hear that conversation, and Monique is telling the truth.
I've had people call Tyler Perry. Al Sharpton called Tyler Perry, and from my understanding, Tyler Perry was like, listen, I don't want to revisit that. I don't have nothing to say about it. Kevin Hart called Tyler Perry. I don't want to revisit. I don't have nothing to say about it. Now, when Al Sharpton heard the tape, because he heard it, he said, that man is wrong. And you're like my daughter, so I'm going to have to call him up. Kevin Hart heard the tape. He said, Mo, I called him, and he said he don't want to revisit it. And I didn't push that. I was grateful that he kept his word, and he called. Our mutual friend, when I explained what was really going down, she was like, I'm not with that. Let me call him. And she called him. And he said, I don't want to revisit that. Then he called back while we were on the phone, and he said, no, I changed my mind. I will meet with Monique, but not with her husband. And then she has to apologize to me and Oprah Winfrey for saying that we had anything to do with ruining her career. Now that was recent. So as I sit here with you and you say, wait a minute, I heard that man say he was wrong.
Yes, I did hear it.
And was going to apologize. Well, that's turned into, now I'll meet with you, not with your husband, and now you have to apologize to me. How does that happen? And I'll tell you how, and I want to look right into the camera if I can. Oftentimes when it comes to a black woman speaking up and speaking out, it goes unheard until she dies. Then once she dies, then we go back and say, well, she was right and let's make a movie about it. See, I can give you their names, Eartha Kitt. I can give you their names, Hazel Scott. I can give you their names, Fannie Lou Hamer. I can give you their names, Hattie McDaniel. All of those women took a stand. And all of those women left here heartbroken, unhealthy, looking at a community saying, y'all know I'm right, but why won't anybody say anything? People will ask me, do you dislike or do you hate Oprah and Tyler and Lee? No. Let me be clear. I love those people. We love those people. My husband and I love they're our brothers and sisters. And as my husband always say, Mama, we ain't calling nobody out. We simply calling them up to say, listen, let's make our community better by making it right. Not keep running and hiding behind what you consider is your power. And I will also say this, you've been the first one brave enough. I'm sorry, and my brother Tavis smiled.
Yeah, we just wanted to shed some light, like I said, shed some light on my one of my favorite comedians ever, Monique, and just just the bigger picture behind the story. Everything ain't just flat out what's on the surface of, oh, she's talking about she got done wrong by this. Yes, she got done wrong by them, but the bigger picture is if she comes out and say something about it, it helps the person behind her. We all know that. The whole Rosa Parks story, which wasn't originally Rosa Parks' story, if people know that story. But it came from somebody, hit Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks was the face. Everything trickled down. We know how it goes. So, hey, you know how we do. We want to shed light on everything. We talk about everything. Hey, LTA, we out here.